Hi, this is Algebra 1, Module 7, Lesson 9, the practice problems. Here we're going to kind of give you a visual way of doing the multiplying the factors or binomials, two terms. Here, if you set it up as 2x plus 3 times 5x minus 7, then you're taking the two that kind of cross each other and putting them in the box. So 2x times 5x is 10x squared. Negative 7 times 2x is negative 14x. Negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. And 3 times 5x is 15x. And then we can combine these two before we do a final answer over here. So let's try this idea in here. We have 3x minus 4 over 7x minus 5. So 7 times 3 is 21, x times x is x squared. Negative 5 times 3x is negative 15x. 7 times negative 4 is negative 28x. And then negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20. So if I take these two, I know I have 21x squared. Negative 28 plus a negative 15 is a negative 43. X plus 20. I don't get a whole lot of space for that. Let me write that just a little bit smaller since I'm running into number 2. Okay, so this one's going to be a 21x plus, what did I say, 43x squared there, plus 20. Okay, number 2. We're going to do our 9x plus 2, x plus 6. So this would be 9x squared. 6 times 9 is 54x. X times 2 is 2x. 2 times 6 is 12. Combine these guys, and I end up with 9x squared plus 56x plus 12. And the last one for this row, 4x minus 3, 3x plus 11. So 3 times 4 is 12. X times x is x squared. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9x. 11 times 4 is 44x. And then 11 times negative 3 is negative 33. So that gives me, let's get this over just a tad. Combine these guys. And I have 12x squared. 44 minus 9 is a positive 35. X minus 33. Let's pick a new color for the next row. Okay. Scroll up. We have 7x plus 3, 7x minus 3. So 7 times 7, 49x squared. 7 times 3 is 21x. 7 times negative 3 is negative 21x. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Notice these are both 21, and 21 minus 21, those actually cancel. So I'm left with 49x squared minus 9. Let's do 5. 3x minus 10, 3x plus 10. So 3 times 3 is 9x squared. 3 times negative 10 is negative 30x. 3 times positive 10 is 30x. 10 times negative 10 is negative 100. Once again, I have 30x minus 30x. Those cancel. 9x squared minus 100. Let's try one more like that. 11x plus 5, 11x minus 5. So 11 times 11 is 121x squared. 11 times 5 is 55x. 11 times negative 5 is negative 55x. Negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. Got that the same, 55x minus 55x. Those cancel. 121x squared minus 25. Next one. Let's go to here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this as a 4x. Actually, you know what? I don't even have to do that because we are going to write them on the boxes anyway. So I have a 4x plus 5 times a 4x plus 5. So 4 times 4 is 16x squared. 4 times 5 is 20x. 4 times 5 is 20x. And 5 times 5 is 25. So I end up with 16x squared plus 40x plus 25. Okay, here I'm going to do an x plus 9 on both sides. So x times x is x squared. X times 9, 9x. X times 9, 9x. 9 times 9, 81. So combine these guys. X squared plus 18x plus 81. Okay, 10x minus 7, 10x minus 7. 10 times 10 is 100x squared. 10 times negative 7, negative 70x. 10 times negative 7, negative 70x. Negative 7 times negative 7 is positive 49. So these guys are same number but same sign. So 100x squared minus 70 plus 70 is 140x plus 49, almost out of space. So the like term boxes in 7, 8, and 9, these last guys, reveal a special pattern. Describe the relationship between the middle coefficient b and the coefficients a and c. So, excuse me, how do I get 40 out of the 40x out of 16x and 25? Well, let's see. Well, I took the 4 times 5, the 4 times 5, so I kind of took my original, my a and my c. Well, 4 is the square root of this. 5 is the square root of this. 4 times 5 is 20. That's twice as much as 20. Let's see if that works over here. So here I have the square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 8 is 9. Those two square roots multiplied is 9. 18 is twice 9. So that looks like to be somewhat of a pattern. I take square root of 49, which is 7. Square root of 100x squared, which is 10x. 7 times 10 is 70. 140 is twice that. So I'm basically, what I'm doing is b equals 2 times the square root of a times the square root of c. So I've been doing this one first, and then I do that. Yeah, so when I get my a, b, and c, I can, for my a and c, I can find my b. Okay, next. Now let's go back to what we were doing in the lesson and work on finding the vertex intercepts, all these key features with a factored form. So with the factored form, I was able to find my x-intercepts pretty easily first because I want these guys to equal 0, each factor to equal 0 to get my x-intercepts. So if x is a 2, 2 minus 2 is 0. So I know one is 2 comma 0. And then the other one, I need this to equal 0. So x has to be a negative 6 to make the 0. And my vertex is going to be my middle between those two. So if this is going down 2 to get to 0, or I can just add them. Let's just add them. 2 plus negative 6 is negative 4. Half of negative 4 is negative 2. So my vertex is at negative 2, comma, let's plug it in. Negative 2 times negative 2, so it's a 4 times. Negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4 times negative 2 plus 6 is negative 4. So then I end up with a 4 times 4 is, they both negative? Negative. Oh, this one's positive. This one's positive. Negative 2 plus 6 is positive. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. So it's a negative 64. Okay, y-intercept is going to be when my x equals 0. So that puts me a 4 times negative 2 times 6. So that's 24 times a negative 2. So when x is 0, y equals negative 48. And then my stretch is just this number in the front, 4. Okay, let's do a different color for this one. And we'll do each row different. Okay, so here, we'll start with our x-intercepts. To get to 0, to get this first one to 0, I need x to equal negative 2. So negative 2, comma 0 is my first one. And to get, oh, let go of the button. There we go. And so to get this one to be a 0, I need x to be 6. So 6, comma 0. The middle between 6 and negative 2, 6 minus 2 is 4. Half of that is positive 2. So if I plug in a 2 here, I have negative 3 times 2 plus 2 is 4, times 2 minus 6 is a negative 4. So now I have a negative, negative 12 times negative 4 is a positive 48. Now my y-intercept is when my x equals 0, so that's negative 3 times 2 times negative 6. So now I have negative 12 times a negative 3, and so that is a positive 36 is my y-intercept. And my vertical stretch is my number in front, negative 3. So you can figure it out, just a little bit of a different order than what they're giving us here. So x-intercepts. I need my first one to be a negative 5, comma 0, and my second one to be a negative 7, comma 0. Well, halfway between negative 5 and negative 7 is negative 6. I can do that one in my head. And so if these are negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1, times negative 6 plus 7 is a positive 1. So 6, comma, negative 1 is that one. And if I plug in a 0 for my x, 5 plus times 7 is 35. And I have no stretch. Well, I have a stretch of 1. There's no number there, which means we assume we are multiplying by 1. Okay, so this guy, do green. X-intercepts. Again, it looks like, well, it looks like we only have 1. 7, comma 0, because 7 works for both of these. So this vertex must actually be on the x-axis at my x-intercept there. My y-intercept is when x equals 0. So I'm going to do half times negative 7 times negative 7, which means half of 49 is 24.5. So 0, comma 24.5. And my stretch is 1/2. Okay, next one. Intercepts. Looks like an 8, comma 0 and a negative 4, comma 0. All right, so 8 plus negative 4 is a 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So let's plug in a 2. I want negative half times 2 minus 8 is negative 6 times 2 plus 4 is a positive 6. So double negatives means my answer will be positive. So half of 6 is 3. 3 times 6 is 18. Y is when my x equals 0. So negative half times negative 8 times 4. Again, I got double negative, so half of 8 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. And my stretch in this case is a negative 1/2. Next, x-intercepts. This one has to be 25, comma 0 to get me a 0. This one has to be a 9, comma 0. 9 plus 25 is 34. Half of 34 is 17. So it looks like 17 is my number here. Oh, one parenthesis, just need a comma. 17 comma. Okay, so I need to do 0.6 times 17 minus 25, that would be -8, times 17 minus 9 is a +8. And so I'm going to take my, go ahead and type this in here. So 0.6 times 8 times 8, and one of them is negative, so I have -38.4. As that. So my y-intercept is basically 0.6 times -25 times -9, which is going to be a positive answer. So 0.6 times 25 times 9 is 135. There we go. And then my stretch would be that 3/5 or 0.6. All right, next ones. Vertex, nope, x-intercepts. This one has to be a 3, 0. This one has to be a -3, 0. Halfway between 3 and -3 is 0. So that's also going to be our y-intercept, right? Our y-intercept is our vertex at this point. So 0.75 times -3 times +3 is, we got 0.75 times 3 times -3, -6. Yeah, -6.75. -6.75, right? 3 and -3 and a positive. Okay, and the stretch is 3/4. All right, next. X-intercept is 5 for this side and -5 for this one. My vertex is going to be at the 0 again. So here my vertex and my y-intercepts are the same. So let's do a -5 times a +5. There we have a double negative, so my answer is a +25, which means that's my y-intercept as well, and my stretch is a -1. Okay, last one on this page, x-intercepts. Looks like -10 for that one. Oh, that one is also -10. So our vertex is on our x-intercept, and our y-intercept would be 2/3 times 10 times 10, which is going to be 200/3, which 200 divided by 3 is 66. Oh boy. Equals, nope, doesn't want to write for me. Equals 66 2/3. So my y-intercept is 0, 66 2/3. And my stretch would be 2/3. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, is this going to help me? Okay, scroll. Okay, so now we have vertex form. Now we have vertex form. So let's find all these using vertex form. So we know with our vertex form, H and K make up our vertex. So this is -2, -4. That works out. Use that little line for my negative. And my y-intercept, I can definitely find by putting in, let's see, 0. So 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. So my y-intercept is 0, 0. My stretch is 1. How do I find my x-intercepts from here? Well, I got to put in a 0 for y, basically. So if I do 0 for y, I'm actually going to do this, I think, down below here. So x plus 2 squared minus 4. So 0 equals x plus 2 squared minus 4. So in doing this one, I'm first going to add 4 to both sides. And so 4 equals x plus 2 squared. So when I do the square root of this, I'm looking at plus or minus 2. So I actually have two answers when it comes to this one. Positive 2x plus 2 or a negative 2 equals x plus 2. So in this case, when I subtract 2, x equals 0. So I have one where it's 0, 0. But here, if I do a minus 2, then x equals negative 4. So I've got a 0, 0 and a negative 4, 0. So I'm going to go back up here and go 0, 0 and negative 4, 0. Okay? And they're 2 away from that one. So let's see if that's consistent. Maybe, maybe not. It probably depends on our stretch. Our stretch will make a difference on that one. Okay, so here, vertex, we have negative 6, out of parentheses, negative 6 comma 3. Okay, our y-intercept is when x equals 0. So 6 squared is 36. 36 times negative 3 is, I don't know that one off the top of my head, 6, and then times negative 3, and then we're going to plus 3, negative 105. All right, and our stretch is negative 3. So now I'm going to go down and work on my x-intercepts. So I'm going to write my 0 equals negative 3 x plus 6 squared plus 3. Okay, so I'm going to minus 3 from both sides. So negative 3 equals negative 3x plus 6 squared. So I have to divide by negative 3. And so negative 3 divided by negative 3 is positive 1 equals x plus 6 squared. So now I need the square root of 1. So 1 equals x plus 6. Negative 1 equals x plus 6. So one of my x-intercepts, negative 6, is negative 5. And if I subtract 6 here, it's negative 7. So negative 5 and negative 7. Negative 5, 0, negative 7, 0. Okay, so it wasn't 2 away, but they're 1 away. So it just kind of depends on where our vertex is. Okay, so here, vertex is a 1, comma, negative 8. Our y-intercept is negative 1 squared, which is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. And our stretch is 2. Let's work out our other ones. We'll do it up here since we got space on this one. So 0 equals 2x minus 1 squared minus 8. First, I'm going to add 8 to both sides. So 8 equals 2x minus 1 squared. Divide by 2. 4 equals x minus 1 squared. So the square root would be 2 and negative 2. So x minus 1, 2 equals x minus 1. So if we add 1 to both sides, we end up with 3 as one of them. We add 1 to both sides, we end up with negative 1 as the other one. Okay, next. Let's do this row. Here we have vertex of -2, -64. A y-intercept. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 minus 64 is -48. Okay, and our stretch is 4. So let's go down here and we will work on our other piece. So I have 0 equals 4x plus 2 squared minus 64. So add 64. 64 equals 4x plus 2 squared. Divide by 4. 64 divided by 4, I believe, is 16 equals x plus 2 squared. So square root. 4 equals x plus 2. -4 equals x plus 2. So minus 2, x equals 2, minus 2, x equals -6. So 2 and -6 for this one. 2, 0, -6, 0. All right, for this one, our vertex is 2, 48. That's some big numbers going on here. Y-intercept, -2 squared is 4. 4 times -3 is -12. And so -12 plus 48 would be 36. And our stretch is -3. So now let's go down below, figure out our y-intercepts. 0 equals -3 x minus 2 squared plus 48. So subtract our 48. -48 equals -3x minus 2 squared. Divide by 3. This stuff should be old hat by now. We'll divide by -3. Let's divide by -3. So that gives us a positive 16 equals x minus 2 squared. Square root. So 4 equals x minus 2. -4 equals x minus 2. So here we're plussing 2. X equals -2. Here we plus 2. X equals 6. So this time it's 6 and -2. Flip them around. 6 and -2. All right, last one. I can actually erase this a little bit over here, and then I can use the space for this guy. Okay, not as much work since we've got no stretch. Okay, so our vertex in this case is -6, -1. Our y-intercept is 6 squared is 36, minus 1 is 35. And stretch is 1. Okay, so 0 equals x plus 6 squared minus 1. Okay, plus 1. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. Plus 1. So 1 equals x plus 1, x plus 6 squared. Square root of 1. 1 equals x plus 6. -1 equals x plus 6. So by minus 6, x equals -7 plus minus 6 minus 6, x equals -5. So I have -5, 0, -7, 0. All right. Now, if you actually look back, that the problems in 11, 12, and 13 are actually the same ones in 23, 24, and 25. If you didn't, let's go back and compare. So here we ended up with 64, 2, -6, 48, 6, -2, 3. Let's kind of look up back at 11, 12, and 13. Look at that. 2, 64, 48, 36. We get 35. Yep, we got 35. Okay, so they are the same. So down here, we are going to prove that that is true. I'm actually going to need to erase some of my work down here because I'm probably going to need some space. Just kind of get rid of everything here. Come on, erase, erase. I'm gonna need some space. Do I have another paper underneath here? Oh, I've got a whole nother sheet. We might just go down and use the other sheet. Okay, so we are going to rewrite this line and we're going to solve it down below. So I'm going to go down here to the clean space for x minus 2, x plus 6 equals 4 x plus 2 squared minus 64. Well, let's just start solving. So I'm going to go ahead and solve out my trinomial here and do x squared minus 2x plus 6x minus 12 equals 4. And if I work this one out, it's going to be x squared plus 4x plus 4. If you remember our, it's ax, b is twice that number, and it's c is squared that number. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and let's simplify. 4x squared plus 4x minus 12. This side I'm going to go ahead and multiply out my 4. So 4x squared plus 16x plus 16 minus 64. Here I can distribute now 4x squared plus 16x minus 48. And so here I just need to simplify these guys. 4x squared plus 16x. 16 minus 64 is 48. They are the same. Look at that. We ended up with the same one. Okay, so the next one then is B right here. We're going to go ahead and go down below and do that guy. So this one's B. This one up here was A. Okay, so B is, get that out of the way, negative 3x plus 2 times x minus 6. And that one is equal to negative 3x minus 2 squared plus 48. Now I'm going to do this one slightly different. Notice how we both have a negative 3. They all have a times negative 3. So I'm going to go ahead and divide everything by negative 3. Remember, these are separated by a plus sign, so I have to do it to each of them. Those cancel, those cancel. This leaves me an x plus 2, x minus 6 equals x minus 2 squared minus, I believe that's a minus 16, right? 48 divided by 3. Let me just double check this one. 48 divided by 3, 16. Okay. So let's go ahead and multiply this one out. So x squared plus 2x minus 6x minus 12 equals x squared minus 4x plus 4 minus 16. Here I can simplify these guys. X squared minus 4x minus 12 equals, here I can simplify these guys. X squared minus 4x, 4 minus 16 is a negative 12. Look at that. We ended up with the same thing again. All right, big finale up here, letter C. So here, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this just off to the side. Plus 5, x plus 7 equals x plus 6 squared minus 1. So I'm going to go ahead and work this one out. X squared plus 5x plus 7x plus 35 equals x squared plus 12x plus 36 minus 1. Here I can combine these guys, x squared plus 12x plus 35. This side I can simplify these guys, x squared plus 12x plus x plus 36 minus 1 is 35. I ended up with the same on. All right, thanks for joining us. That's it for today. See you next time.